Moving over here to the Develop module, just roll over it and click on the name, and then it takes you to that module. Now I'm zoomed in here right now. I'm just going to go over just to one picture. And I'll zoom back out a little bit. There we go. So I'm looking at just the one picture, and that's this one. Inside of the Develop module, we still have tools on the left hand side. I'll open that up. There we go. Navigator, presets, snapshots, history, and collections. Notice I have a copy and paste options down below here now, as opposed to the import export options we had on the library view. These are things you'd be working with, or buttons you may be using in a develop mode. Notice that we have a lot of the same options across here. We still can come in. I can still place ratings on these. I can still color code these if I wanted to. A few more things down here on the right hand side. This allows you to choose which modes are being displayed down here. If I right click on the picture, again I still have my options. Flags, ratings, color labels, and so forth. Again, if I click up here I can change my backgrounds. So all of that is still showing. Notice that the section down here where I can filter down what I'm looking at has remained. So this is part of the film strip, and we'll be staying here throughout our working on these different images. Now if you want to change the amount of space this is taking up, go right there to the divider line. Just kind of hover over that, get the little double arrow. At that point you can grab that and then pull that, and the whole window will reset based upon that new position that you've done. On the right hand side you'll find most of the actual tools for working with your images inside of the Develop module. Let me close the left hand side down. I'll pull our window over a little bit, and here we go. Just collapse these things in here. So we have a lot of modules on the right hand side. Histogram gives you basic information about the information in the picture, the distribution of your colors and your shadows, your exposure, highlights. Down below the histogram is a little tools menu in here. You can do a crop, spot removal tool, red eye removal tool, filter tool, and an adjustment brush. And then we have some little pop-up sections in here. Here's our basic tools. Color or black and white. We're looking at the color. I can change my temperature. I can change the tone in here, shadow, highlights, clarity, vibrance, saturation. All of your standard adjustments and your standard image adjustments are right there. Notice that you can use this little slider over here on the right hand side to slide inside this little section. Close that out. Here's our tone curve. You can see where our tone curve is, and we'll be playing with this again a little later on. Hue, saturation, and luminance, color or black and white. We can play with all of these settings in here to adjust our color settings based on these different ways of looking at it. Hue, saturation, luminance, or looking at it as color values, or looking at it as a black and white. Notice it's now a black and white image over there. Split toning, highlights and shadows. Working with your details in here, detail sharpening, noise reduction. So you see we have an awful lot of tools on the right hand side that allow you to come in and do just an amazing amount of work, and it all kind of just works as you and pops things up as you're working around. For instance, if I wanted to adjust for the lens distortion, just roll over these tools and you get a little grid showing. As I move the tool, I can then see how that looks based upon that grid. Let's hide that one again. Then we have effects. Lots of effects in here. And finally our camera calibration. Now this is just a little cutesy icon that doesn't do anything at all. It's just a graphic on this. So we also can go back to our previous setting or reset back to the default settings. So these buttons now are doing something specific in here, in this case specific to the section that we're working with at the time. Kind of like a redo undo option. Now again, since we're in the develop module, we now have a develop menu up here, and it shows options for working inside of the develop module. That's our fast look around the develop module then, and let's move on and take a look at the next module.